Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Uncensored Critic podcast. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. It means the world to me. Thank you very, very, very much. And today we welcome along an actor whose work I've seen from many years ago and still is going very, very strong even today. And that, of course, is the great Jayne Wisener. And for anyone who's unfamiliar with Jayne's work, let's take a moment to introduce her right now. So, Jayne trained at the Royal Scottish Academy of Music and Drama and has gone on to appear in some of the biggest shows and films to date. For theatre, she has appeared in Kiss Me Kate at the Lyric Belfast, Aladdin in the Belfast Grand Opera House where she played the Princess, Parade at the Donmar Warehouse, Notes to Future Self at the Birmingham Rep, and has just finished another run at the Lyric Belfast in Dear Arabella by Marie James and co. Absolutely brilliant reviews from what I've seen. Congratulations. For TV, Misfits for E4, Brave New World for Amblin and Dreamworks, London Irish for BBC, The Life and Adventures of Nickelby, also for BBC, and The Inbetweeners for E4, where she played Lauren on the geography field trip. And for film, The Heiress, Jane Eyre, Life Just Is, and one in particular, Sweeney Todd, the demon barber of Fleet Street, directed by Tim Burton, starring Johnny Depp, Alan Rickman, Helena Bonham Carter, Timothy Spall, with music and lyrics by the late, great Stephen Sondheim. And that's just a small sample of Jayne's work. So, hello, Jayne.
Hello, Ollie.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Nice
Very nice.
one.
Yeah.
Nice one. It was nice to see. I know you've literally just wrapped your play recently, Dear Arabella. How was the run?
Oh, it was really, really beautiful. It was quite intense. So Mary, who wrote it, she'd originally written it as like three separate monologues. It's a three-hander, three different women, set in the 60s, kind of like about different forms of feeling trapped in your life, or so one of the women, Jean, she's 30. She's her mom has really bad anxiety disorder. She's very much working class, but it has to basically she has like forgone her own life. She'll never have other kids because she's looking after her mother full time. Something happens one day in the street. She decides, I need to get away. She gets a train, doesn't know where she's going to go, just decides I'm going to go to the seaside, meets a lady on the train called Elsie, who's there with her husband. And Elsie's husband came back from the war with a missing limb, like he's no arm, and he's also like soulless, apparently, just not the man that she married. And so she's kind of living in this trapped sort of nothing life with her husband who won't open up to her because nobody talks about what happened at the war. They end up on the seaside, or Jean ends up on the seaside. Elsie goes off to a different station. Jean comes across Arabella, the character I played. Arabella is like 40. She's from like a wealthy sort of background. She lives in a beautiful big house by the sea, but her husband died in the war. He was a Marine. She cannot accept the fact that he's dead, so she's trapped in the past and will not say out loud he's dead. She says he was lost at sea. But just upon meeting this stranger and seeing her freedom in the ocean, they kind of connect in some way, and that allows her to kind of be free of the past, free of her own torment. And it's just like little small acts of kindness, because everybody's living in their own world, and it doesn't matter who you are. Just if you're kind to someone, you don't know what small act of kindness can affect somebody to their core. I forgot to mention that the Elsie character just gives her flask and sandwiches. She says, I don't know what's wrong with this girl or where she's going, but she needs a wee bit of lunch. And then that means the world to Jane. And she's like, wow, like just like little small things can impact you. It's a really beautiful piece, and they kind of intertwine. There's big monologues, but then the characters, but we never actually directly look at each other. But it's kind of, I don't know, my sister said it was like watching an audiobook. She loved it.
No, it's interesting. Like, it sounds like the play had like grief at its core, but by the sound of it, just this denial, or this. Obviously, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just going off your words there, but this grief of like, it's like this denial that no, he can't be dead. He can't be dead, and it's almost like she sees. Do you think like she still has like visions of him coming home, and she still talks to him like he's in the room and stuff?
Yes, she very much does. That's exactly what she does throughout the play. Like she talks to his photograph. She's angry with him. angry with him for not being there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Really, really angry. And yeah, like she has a dream where he comes, washes up on the sea, or on the beach, and talks to her and says, right, I need to go back with the tide. And she's like, why? And then she wakes up angry, and she's like, he should be here. He should, like, I wouldn't have to deal with all this stuff if he was here. And yeah, it's about trying to like forgive and move on and live your life, like, well, in terms of Arabella's character. So
Nice one. Yeah. And I'm going to ask a very stereotypical question now, but because it's, am I right thinking it's an Irish play? You know, it's written by an Irish playwright and stuff like that.
yeah. So it is set in the north, but I mean they're very different classes. So I mean, I'm from Coleraine, which is up on the north coast, but this is kind of more set. Well, my character would have been from like North Down, which has got a very sort of posh Northern Irish accent, like very gentrified. So I had to kind of put that on. I'll not do it for you now in case anybody listens and go, oh, that's not right. And then like Jayne is full on Belfast, and Elsie's kind of more middle class.
Yeah. So what's Belfast? I mean, no, but Belfast, Northern Ireland, isn't it? I'm thinking about
Yeah.
Dublin. So what's the difference between Belfast and Dublin in terms of voices, or are they kind of the same?
Oh no, they're very different.
Yeah.
Uh, and again, depending on, I guess it's like London, depending on sort of your postcode, you're going to have a different way of speaking.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very like it's the same with Dublin. Like there's all sorts of different accents and dialects within the city. That's just, I guess. I mean, even here where I am, if I go like 5 minutes up the road, it's slightly different.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's like over, yeah, like like you say in London, it's like North. People say North London, East London, West London, or South London. You know, it's like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's like a whole different thing, and it's not South London, it's South London, as they keep
Yeah.
reminding you, South London. But but I mean, it's always interesting about accents. I've had a few accent people on here before, and just you can go. Like you say, you walk up the road and suddenly you're in a different part of the country, and you've literally just turned 5 minutes out your front door, and it's
Yeah.
I always find that
I mean, it's
fascinating.
subtle enough. I mean, I guess for to my ear, you'd only hear very obvious differences in the London accent, but like somebody from there would be able to tell instantly, oh, they're from whatever direction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can always tell. So, so Jayne, in your case, we start the start question here. Well, where did it come from? The love of acting.
The love of acting. I'm not sure. I mean, when I was a kid, I was very, very, very shy, and I started doing like speech and drama when I was younger. And I would have done like little plays and singing things in church. So I always enjoyed that. I always enjoyed singing and getting up and performing. And then I was doing like festivals and stuff as part of doing speech and drama. And I started to do well and win. And then I just thought, this is amazing because I can get up and say somebody else's words. And I have a certain freedom there, which was beautiful. And then, I just kept doing it. I loved doing school plays. And then obviously people thought that I was really snobby because I couldn't speak to people in real life, but yet I could, like, 'cause it's just too shy. I didn't know what to say to people.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then get up and perform. It's like, she's not shy. Look at that, But it's like, I'm escaping. I'm somebody else when I'm here.
Yeah.
And even now, I actually get really embarrassed to sing as myself. It's totally different if I'm singing in a character.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. More about your singing actually a bit later on. But now I remember there was I was lucky enough to go to Sylvia Young's theatre school for a bit, like summer courses and part-time school back in the day. And remember there was a guy there who was one of the music teachers. He was called Ray, and he took no prisoners. He was very much like you hit that note, or you're just like you could be in the pinnacle moment of a song, revealing your soul to everything, and then it just go, dun, dun, dun. Right, okay, stop. What the hell was that? We'll try that again. That was the kind of person he was. But I mentioned that because I remember one time he told us, people like, I said, I've got friends who are stand-up comedians. They'll go on stage and they'll completely tear the house down. They'll involve everyone. They'll look you in the eye. They'll hear one thing and then make a joke and make everyone really, really happy. But off stage, they can barely order a beer.
I don't know how people
Yeah.
do that. Anyway, I couldn't think of nothing worse. than the pressure of making people laugh.
Oh, I
And
couldn't do it. I can't do it.
and the adrenaline, and then being able, like, it's just so intelligent, being that quick-witted to have hear something that somebody says in the audience and make banter off that. Like, I have friends who do it as well, and I'm just like, I just don't know. It's a real gift.
Yeah, I mean, anyone who's have you ever been to the Comedy Store in London?
Oh, years ago.
Yeah. Yes, I remember going one time, and like the compere. I mean, the skill he had. Like, I remember.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember speaking to somebody else about this, Lucy Eaton, and like the ability that these compares have. Like I just say, they can just hear one thing in the audience, and they'll just turn it into a little joke, and the whole place has just been brought to its knees.
Yeah. No, I love that. Real gift. Not one I have.
No, but you and me both, mate. You and me both. We'll leave that to the professionals.
Yeah.
No, interesting. So, just like, well, when you were growing up, did you see much theatre? Did you manage to get to the theatre much?
Not a lot. I mean, I was lucky enough. I'd been to the West End a couple of times. I'd actually got to see Beauty and the Beast on Broadway when I was 12, which was unbelievable. Yeah, we went to see Oliver when I was a kid. I went on a school trip in primary school, and we did the London trip, and so see like 3 different shows then, and I just always loved it. And then of course there were things locally. There's not a lot of theatre in my town. Sadly, the only theatre we actually had in our town is now closed. But yeah, you would seldom get to Belfast. You know, like, one of the first experiences for most kids is usually Panto, which is magical. Especially the one in Belfast, in the Grand Opera House in Belfast. It's an amazing theatre, a very beautiful old building, 1,000-seater. So, like, you're sitting in the audience of that, watching magic on stage.
I'll bet.
Yeah, so I always love Disney as well, you know, and just like singing. And I'm not too sure. I think it was just the freedom of getting to become someone else. It was yeah. And now I just find people fascinating. So, like, when you see a character, you're like, yeah, I need to figure out who this person is, and it's just fascinating.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. I just love the freedom and how you could escape. I'm exactly the same in school. I was very introverted, very shy. I didn't want to talk to anybody. but then suddenly we found this thing called drama, like the drama classes and everything. I ended up doing it for GCSE and A level, etc., even at university as well. Yeah. And I was just like, wow, it gives you that time to express yourself and like find yourself. It's like, even though the irony is you find yourself in playing somebody else, you know, and it's
I know. And you also find yourself within your community. So you have to react in community and the people around you, and you think, wow, we're all similar in lots of ways, and that you feel safe.
Yeah, I think it's Robin Williams who said there are others who speak this language, and I love that.
Beautiful.
I love that so much. Yeah. Just thinking, like, was there like one particular show or particular film that you watched when you were younger which made you go, that's what I want to do?
Do you know, there probably was, but I can't think off the top of my head. I know my favourite films of all time are Mary Poppins and Hook, randomly. But I think for very different reasons than I love them now. So, and I think when I was a kid, I just loved the magical element of it. And then as an adult, I'm looking at it going, it's all about not missing out.
Yeah.
Your kids are, you know, I don't know. You look at things very differently, but no, I love that. I love like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I don't know, just classic kid sort of musical films. You know, I love musical movies as well, growing up. And then obviously when I got Sweeney, it was kind of like, wow, I get to be doing, because that was one of the first musical movies for a long time.
Yeah, I remember watching that and going like, oh wow, there's singing in this.
Yes, I know. They didn't let on in the trailer that was going to be the case, did they?
No, I think they assumed that everyone knows it's a musical, right? But then when we started watching it, it was like, what? They're singing? Johnny Depp singing? I didn't. What?
It was quite jarring, probably, for a lot of people for the first like 10 minutes, and then they're like, "Oh, it is what it is."
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. But anyway, more on that later. So, as I mentioned in the intro, you went to the Royal Scottish Academy of Music and Drama, which is, fellow graduates there include I think it's David Tennant and a few other people went there as well. But you actually, we were talking when you came on, you actually decided to leave after 1 year. And
Yeah.
of course, to go and get one big role in particular, Johanna in Sweeney Todd. So how was your time at drama school, and what made you want to call it quits after 1 year?
Well, I always wanted to go to drama school. I was really lucky to get in, but I mean, was only 18 years old, and didn't really know. I didn't have myself figured out. Didn't have a lot of life experience, and I kind of just let myself be knocked down, which is so strange because like 20 years on from that, if I was spoken to maybe the way I was then, it just wouldn't happen. Although I think I was feisty enough. So I can talk more about that later. But yeah, I like first year at drama school. By the end of it, I was saying to you earlier, we did Cherry Orchard, and my parents were like, "Jayne, you were awful." Like, and I was like, "I know, I can't remember how to act. I don't know what I'm doing at all. I was too busy thinking about acting technique rather than being."
Yeah.
And there was no freedom in it anymore. And then during the summer, I was doing music theatre for youth, which was like a charity youth kind of production that they used to have over here in Northern Ireland, where young people would put on a musical in a weekend. And so we were doing West Side Story at the Millennium Forum in Derry, and Jeremy James Taylor he came over to watch it because he was like scouting for Susie Figgis, who was cast in Sweeney Todd, asked a few of us to come back the next day after we'd finished the show and like sing to camera, which was one of the first,
Yeah.
like nobody did self-tapes in those days. So we sang to camera and had to speak with an English accent. Then I kind of just rolled on from there. I got called to London, and then had to go for singing lessons with a guy called Sean Alderking to teach me Greenfinch and Linnetbird. I did like auditions with Tim Burton and the producers, and then I sang for my last audition. I had to sing Greenfinch, and
Yes.
this was it was a very long audition process, and the entire thing was surreal. And I found out during my first term of second year that I got the role. I was kind of auditioning in secret for the most part, and then like nipping down to London. And then I did ask my head of year if I could go and meet Tim Burton, and he was like, "Yeah, that's fine. You can go," because you weren't allowed to audition.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Well, they did. I think they let Scottish people audition for things actually, weirdly. But yeah, so you weren't. They didn't really like you doing that. They wanted you to train and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went to that and got it. I obviously couldn't attend classes because of the filming schedule and rehearsal schedule. But in the end, I just decided that, like, one of the lecturers had said, "I think you should keep training," and I was like, "No."
Yeah. We're
As
done.
you said, "No."
We're done out here. We're done out
I
here.
was like, and like I like they did offer me a place to go back and rejoin a second year up to a certain year, but I didn't have time.
Yeah.
I managed to get an agent and book other work off the back of the Sweeney Todd platform, which was really, really incredible. People talk about luck and being at the right place at the right time. Now, obviously, you have to work really hard in the lead up to that. I didn't just walk into the street and get offered a job.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was very, very lucky.
Yeah. I mean, do you think you made the right decision? Well, obviously you did make the right decision, but looking back now, do you think you would have done it anything differently? Is there a part of you thinking should I have gone back, or do you think no, that was the right thing to do?
There was a time when I thought I could have done with a bit more vocal training in terms of projection and resonance and vocal safety. Being
Yeah.
able to get up on stage and perform every night and maintain and not get like laryngitis or whatever. There was a time when I thought I was a bit worried about that, but you can't look back and go, "Oh, I probably should have stayed on," because I don't know that I would have got the vocal training necessarily that I ended up getting after years of just experience
Yeah.
working in theatre. So no, I don't regret not going back.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
no.
think I would have been happy. I wasn't happy, and yeah, I was busy during those years that I was offered the place, so I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm sure you made the right decision. And you never stay in a place where I think not just in this business, but I think in life in general, it's like never stay anywhere where A, you're not happy, and B, you don't feel appreciated anyway, and C, that am I getting anything out of this? And your
Yeah,
gut and your heart
no,
and your soul
I'm
says
not. I'm
no.
not slagging the actual school because
Oh
there are
yeah, no, of
people
course.
who were even within my own year group who really thrived and did wonderful. Have done wonderful work since. And yeah, and people who were the same age as me as well. Like they just it doesn't work for everyone. It didn't work. It didn't work out for me in terms of the training. But in saying that, I still try and keep fresh. I still try and read up on things. You're never done learning.
Mm,
Um,
no.
so I do try and keep learning, even though I'm working.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's. I think it's important to say that some people, people always like sell you like higher education as like it's the best years of your life, like university, drama school, wherever it may be. These are the best years of your life. You're gonna go there for 3, 4 years and enjoy it. But I think it's important to say that sometimes it's not for everybody. I know a lot. I know, like yourself, you thought after a year, no, I'm not enjoying this. I'm going to move on and do something else. I know some people who dropped out after 2 years of a degree. Some people did. I think I remember one girl in my year at university did 2 weeks and said she couldn't do it
Isn't
anymore.
right.
This isn't right for me. And I definitely, like we were talking earlier, I hit a bit of a wall after like three or 4 days. I remember thinking, is this? I was 18. I thought I think it's funny. It's like when you finish school at 18, you've done your A levels, etc. I remember thinking at the time, there's nothing more I need to know. I've learned
Yeah.
everything there is to know about life. I've got it. I've got all the experience. There's nothing more life can throw at me.
Oh
After
dear.
two days of university, it was like I was punched in the face by Mike Tyson. I was like, oh shit, I had no fucking idea what I'm doing. I have no fucking
No.
idea what I'm doing or what I was talking about. But that's it's the joy in the journey of often comes with fright, with fear hand in hand. But I think fear and failure obviously are there to help you. Everything, you're there to,
Oh yeah. You have
make
to
you.
overcome your fear. You have to overcome failures. I mean, especially in this industry, well, in any walk of life, really. But resilience is massive because this is a very heartbreaking career. You do have to just,
It's tough. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. You
yeah.
have to just pick yourself up and keep going because you love it. You know?
Yeah, yeah. It's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. But
No.
I think I'm one of those people that I learned the hard way. Not in everything, but I've learned a lot of things the hard way. When life just goes right, like wake the fuck up, Gower, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, oh shit, yeah, you're right. And then but I'm grateful for those experiences because it helps you learn very, very quickly, very, very quickly. But which is good fun. Anyway, so I think we arrive very early actually at Sweeney Todd. So, for anyone who's unfamiliar with the show, it's the story of Benjamin Barker, who is deceived by Judge Turpin, who sends him away on a trumped-up charge to, I can't remember where they take him. Where do they take him? Do they take him to the Caribbean or something, or Australia or something like that?
Is Australia, is it not? I think.
Is it where, sorry?
I think it's Australia.
Was it Australia? I think it was Australia, yeah. I'm not sure.
It's me.
Let's have a quick Google search. Anyway, but
Yeah.
with Australia in inverted commas, I think for the moment, and while he's shipped away on this trumped up charge, he he basically advances on his wife, he sexually assaults her pretty much and tries to take her as his own. And when she rejects him, she gets pushed out on the street as a beggar, which she's known as the beggar woman in the musical. And then his daughter Johanna is taken in by Judge Turpin and as his ward, and the rest of the show, I won't spoil anything. We probably will touch on a few spoilers, so just be warned, guys.
You did let a wee spoiler slip there.
Oh, I did.
Donna's wife, the beggar woman.
Oh yeah. Oh fuck it. Oh well, there you go. Okay, spoiler alert. But anyway, so she's the beggar woman, and oh god, yeah, that is a big one. That is a big spoiler. Oops.
That's all right.
Never mind. I'll put it in the description. But so who becomes the beggar woman, and Yeah, and he returns to London to seek revenge for at the judge. And while he's there, he meets Mrs. Lovett, who has had a real hankering for this character for many, many years. And together they form like the sort of like Macbeth partnership between the two of them. They're evil, yet you follow them regardless. He kills the people, the men having shaves upstairs. They fall through a trapdoor into Mrs. Lovett's smokehouse, and she puts them in pies, and that's the bit you were waiting for. So yeah, you mentioned there briefly about the audition process, but just expand on that a bit more. What was it like having that experience at 18, 19? Tim Burton, big studio film,
I
singing.
mean,
Yeah.
hugely terrifying. I guess my like naivety and my just like total inexperience probably went in my favor, because I was like, there's not a hope. So I'm just going to go for it, and see what happens. The first audition I did in London after the tape was in Belsize Park at Eyre Studios, and I went in there and I had to sing to camera in there, like a big, massive camera. I don't even know if they make cameras that big anymore. And I sang Wishing You Were Somehow Here Again to camera. I may have read a scene, but I don't know if I did. Anyway, after that, I ended up doing another round of auditions where there were, I think there were about 4 Johannas and 4 Anthonys. And so we kind of swapped up pairings and stuff, and we would have gone in with Tim Burton and the producers into like a studio room type thing, and yeah, just read with each other. And it was from the show, not from the actual film. It was the scene with the bird cage and stuff, in the Broadway musical. So that was the scene that we had to do, and then I was sent down to London a couple of times to go to Sean Alderking, who taught me Greenfinch and Linnet Bird. And then for my final audition, I had to sing Greenfinch, which was terrifying, but everyone was really lovely. Really, really nice. It could have been a lot more terrifying, but yeah, and I didn't know London then either. That was also an experience in itself, having to walk around with an A to Z at that age. There was one time when I was doing the singing lesson with Sean Alderking, and I'll not tell you where in London he was based, but I had to get back to Stansted, and he'd offered me a cup of tea because I had to fly back up to Glasgow because I was there on the sly, and he'd offered me a cup of tea, and I thought, well, yes, I'll be polite and accept a cup of tea. Not being brave enough to go, actually, I need to go and catch a flight. And by the time I got to Stansted, the flight was away, and I had to just stay in the airport all night until the next flight. And it was just like sitting on the floor, like, what is my life? This is mental. But just all because I was too scared to go, can I go now?
It's okay to leave if you want to, guys. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay if you have to catch a flight. No one will penalise you for it. Yeah, so, and then, like, I still had drama school and stuff. I was meant to go the next morning, but I was like, I'm too tired. I have to sleep in the airport floor. I'm not going to go today. I'm going to be sick today.
Yeah. What a sickie.
Yeah, which I didn't really do very often, so it was fine. But then, yeah, it was like a good few weeks before I got the call to say I got it, and at which point I just ran around screaming.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. At such a young age, you're playing one of the, it's a huge supporting role and very key to the story and everything, and yeah, of course, like Tim Burton, what was it like being in the room with him?
I mean, he was really lovely and very, very kind. I was like a deer in headlights the entire production, from the first audition to like the very end, and like everything you think, my lack of experience in general, but this was thrown in at the deep end. Everything was high budget, high everything. You think of the caliber of the performers that were cast in that, all big Hollywood actors, Oscar-winning costume designer, the sets in Pinewood Studios were out, like the detail of everything was like, there was nothing. I was actually given lessons on needlepoint and lessons on the Victorian art of silhouetting, like everything was thought of and taken care of. And I do remember when it came to one of the scenes where I had dialogue with Alan Rickman. They done like the wee rehearsal thing, and I didn't know anything about camera acting and this, like, the subtlety of the vocals. It's not like, and I remember Alan Rickman was so quiet in rehearsal, and I was like, he went to Radish, surely he knows about projection. But like, this was all in my head, But he, like, everything was so quiet to the point it was like menacing and terrifying,
Yeah.
But I said my lines as loud as I thought. I was like, well, the camera's all the way over there, so I need to shout. But Tim Burton took me aside and was like, can we just go for this tea scene quickly? And I was like, yeah. And then he was like, I want you to be really quiet and small. And then he was like, can you read it together? And I read it with him, and he was like, yeah, that's perfect. That's how I want. Imagine a director of that scale doing a rehearsal with a nobody. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was so generous.
Yeah.
To decide and not fire me for not knowing how to act for camera, but actually just teaching me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everyone's been there. Everyone's been like those first time performing to the camera. Like, and I remember my first time like doing some screen acting, and you literally have to strip it all the way back and just trust what you're saying. And it's more like an inward body experience rather than trying to show it on your face and stuff like that.
Yeah. You have to trust coming across.
Yeah. I remember the first time doing it, I thought, I'm not acting. I'm not moving my face. I'm not doing anything. Is this right? And they're like, yeah, that's right, Ollie. And then I was just like, okay, how about if I do that? No, close your eyes. Close your eyes. Like that. You feel like you're not doing anything, but actually you're doing a lot more by that stillness and just the look in someone's eye. I remember there's a shot on you in the film where you have that final line in Greenfinch when you say, "If I cannot fly, let me sing." I remember it's like it just cuts to you just looking out of your window, and you're singing very subtly, and you're just having a little look out the window. But in that, you see someone who wants to get out, and there's that line: if I cannot fly, let me sing. At least let me out and here, and just let me express myself one way or another. If that makes sense. And it was a really beautiful shot of that. And
thank you. I mean, at that point, I was used to acting through song anyway, from like doing a lot of musical theatre when I was a kid. So that's less of a challenge for me than actually just speaking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, what was it like? I mean, on the day when you were recording or filming that scene where you're
Greenfinch.
Greenfinch, yeah.
It was actually amazing. I just sang along to the track. You had to sing along so that they can see that you're actually, because obviously we pre-recorded the.
Yes.
But like they played it so that you could sing along. But it was amazing getting that shot from all the different angles. Again, the needlepoint, the fact that they'd given me lessons on that, I didn't have to think about that.
Yeah.
While I was doing it, I could just be in character. The costume was amazing. It's funny because you said about that look out the window. There's a smile that Johanna gives to Anthony out the window, and when it's a close-up smile, the smile's tiny. But then when you're looking at it from his perspective, I had to do like for them to match just because of the distance, because you can't see it. It was like weird. That was amazing. That was a really, really beautiful day. Again, that.
Yeah, I mean, what was it like? Because I know for when they filmed the Les Mis film, they actually sang live on set. They had the piano in their ears, and then it was covered by an orchestra and post-production afterwards. But with that one, with a pre-recorded track, and I'm sure you guys are not the only one who did that. There's probably many other versions of musicals who have done this as well. But what was it like? Because it feels like you have to make all your acting choices like 6 months prior or however long it is before. And then when you come on set, obviously you said you're singing along with it, but the main track is we had pre-planned choices.
Rehearsed it. Yeah, yes. yes, and I see what you're saying, but you did have time to make those choices prior to recording it. Yeah, like we did have like lessons and worked on the song. Had to do it for Sondheim as well. So
Ooh.
yeah, so like it was all right. And I remember going in. I had bronchitis. I was really unwell when I went into the studio to record it. So they were like, "We're going to do your song another time, but stay here for the orchestra and listen to that being recorded." And I was in the recording studio, like listening in the booth with like Sondheim and Tim Burton, and they started playing it, and I was just like so overwhelmed hearing Greenfinch being played. And then Stephen Sondheim, he was like, "I think the tempo should be a bit more," and then he was like, "What do you think, Tim?" And he was like, "Yeah, yeah." And then they were both like, "What do you think, Jayne?" And I was like, "You just said my name, let alone ask me my opinion." And I went, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. What if you think? Yeah, yeah." And it was like unbelievable. But yeah, sorry, my mum's trying to ring me here. Then, but then I went into a smaller studio to record Greenfinch, and actually my voice was a lot fuller than you think from the track, because it was a really small little booth, and so I was singing for the confines of the space, so it sounds really small, but I do think I think it works for the character, because she is a 15, 16,
Yeah,
she's not an opera singer on Broadway, she's a
yeah,
child,
yeah.
and she is trapped in a room.
Yeah, and like she's been kept as Turpin's ward, and of course there's that moment later on because Turpin is significantly older than her, and was that bit before ladies in their sensitivities where he says, I've decided to marry my dear Johanna." "Oh, sir, happy news indeed." That's Beagle.
Yeah,
Happy news indeed. Yeah, but when I offered myself to her, she showed a certain reluctance. And
yeah,
then
of
and it's like,
course,
no shit, mate. But
I
yeah,
know.
I know it's just bleh, it's
Yeah.
disgusting. But there's so many fantastic songs in there. Ladies in Their Sensitivities, My Friends, Worst Pies in London, blah blah blah. But your song in particular, Greenfinch. I mean, what does that song mean to you? Like as Jayne, what's your version of that song?
So it's strange because a lot of the song from the original, like Broadway production, is not there. It's a lot more cinematic in the way it is, rather than, because she's mad. Like she's trapped, and there's a certain madness when you hear the original, and like even though like because there's a couple of verses, I can't remember them. Yeah, so like the second verse, it kind of just goes off on one, and it's not necessarily aesthetically pleasing or like pleasing to the ear. But then in the movie, there's that whole so it's like a beautiful orchestral swell,
Yeah, it's
which
like a
just,
break. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so they changed it, so it just sounds beautiful and innocent,
Yeah.
rather than that sort of fragmented, like slight mental break that you get, which I do love in the Broadway production. I do love the original, but for me, the version in my head is always going to be the pretty version that I got to
Yeah,
film.
no, it was very pretty, and but I think
More,
it's
it just sounds more innocent than, yeah.
yeah, I think it helps because if you look at that song, like it's about trapped birds. I mean, there's that line, "How can you jubilate sitting in cages, never taking wing?" And like, how can you be so happy yet you're contained and you're in a cage your whole time? And it's very reflective of Johanna and like pretty much her whole life. She's been kept in this room by this guy called Turpin. She's not allowed to go out. She can't talk to anybody. She's not allowed to probably not even go to school. She's never had a human interaction in her life. Well, very, very, very little anyway. But it's like a reflection of her, isn't it? She's trapped in
Yes,
this
yeah.
cage. Yeah.
And do you know what's interesting as well? I was talking about the costume design and stuff, like the the thing underneath, not in the Greenfinch and Linnetbird scene, but in another scene, it's sort of like you can see her underclothes, like, and the petticoat type thing, and the frame of that. It's a cage. It's designed as like a cage. It's so incredible, the attention to detail. Oh, sorry.
No, you're okay. No, but it's and it's another example of like how Sondheim can create, well, how he created like these beautiful melodies, these beautiful songs, and yet it's all about being trapped and being contained at the same time. It's a beautiful juxtaposition. You know, you're so free and you're singing all these incredible notes, but actually you're like this. You know, you're trapped to a rock in some ways, and it's. Do you feel like the song is a bit of a cry for help in a way? Do you think it's like, help me get out of here? And of course, she sees Anthony. She meets him during that song.
I don't think it was meant to be a cry to anyone else, but to her own, like, yeah, a cry for help, but in the sense that I'm trapped and in this cage. Give me some sense of freedom. Give me some hope, something that I can cling on to. Obviously, she sees Anthony out the window, and there's a connection there.
Yeah, and it's I say what I know that it's not actually in the film, and it's in the Broadway where you have there's a duet between the two of them. We mentioned
Kiss
ladies
Me.
in there, Kiss Me, and Ladies in Their Sensitivities. They both kind of join over. I mean, when it's done right, it sounds beautiful. But I mean, I remember seeing some people trying to learn it once, and it looks. I tried to learn it as well. It's the most, and pretty much with a lot of Sondheim's work, it's
all
so
hard.
fucking hard to learn Stephen Sondheim songs. But how did you find it?
I find it really hard as well. I find all Sondheim very tricky to learn, and I think it's because but if you think about like a lot of his stuff, even like Steps of the Palace, from Into the Woods, it's like it's all thought and it's written like speech, and all the phrasing and stuff is how you would say it as a monologue. And because the music does jump all over the place, the timing's all awkward. But then once you learn it, it's stuck in your soul, like Shakespeare. Like Shakespeare seems really difficult, but then once you memory, it's just part of your body somehow. It's there. But I did have to learn it as a monologue as well, in terms of I had to be able to visualize everything. I had Neil Swain, who was a dialect coach, and he asked me to recite it with my eyes closed. Number one, so we could work on the accent, but also I could visualize absolutely everything that I was saying and feel it. Because I think that helps. If you're not just learning notes, you're acting through songs. You need to learn it as a monologue. I think that's a really helpful tool for any musical.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And I feel like I said a point there. Oh, it's gone. Wait, give me a sec. It's So there's a guy called Daniel Evans. I don't know if you ever came across and worked with him. He's a performer. He ran the Chichester Festival for a little while. He was the artistic director there for a while, and he performed in Sunday in the Park with George. And there's apparently, I haven't seen it as of now, but there's apparently a song in there where it's all about Georges Chirac, who painted A Walk in the Park on Sunday, that famous picture, and it's all little dots.
Yeah.
And it took him like 6 or 7 years to do it, or something like that. I don't know the thing, but it took him a long time. And you look closely at the picture, and it's literally like little dots of all different colors, but it looks like it's all one thing. But it's a supreme piece of work. And there's a song in that one where he's painting and making little dots. And Stephen apparently writes it in a way where it's very specific and very on the point. So it's like red, 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 orange, red, red, orange. So he was like, you feel like you're going insane because I've never. I mean, yeah. But he made the similar points. Like they're so hard to learn, but once you've got it, it's there for life.
There forever. Yeah. But it's very clever. He's an absolute genius. So
yeah. And there's I think which one is it? There's a song in there because I did a local production of it back in 2012. So a few years ago now. We hated learning the song "God That's Good" We
Oh, yeah.
hated learning that song because I can't tell you how many times in rehearsals we said under our breath, "Oh, fuck you, Sondheim." We
Yeah.
just,
Oh, dear.
yeah. Oh, it was a
Yeah.
nightmare. I mean, I'd say one thing that I wish the film had done. Actually, I know this isn't your fault or nothing, but I wish the film had. You heard the ensemble pieces, you heard the music, like the orchestral swelling.
They did film it.
Yeah. Oh, you did.
They did. Yeah. Like Christopher Lee was one of the, like, they were ghosts and they were the ensemble. There were quite a few big people. So it was meant to happen, but it didn't work.
Oh
It
man.
didn't work as part of the overall piece. So then you just hear the underscore of
Yeah.
the tale of Sweeney Todd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swing your razor
Yeah,
wide.
yeah, you do hear that, but it's just an orchestral sort of
Yeah.
swell point, but it's no. And it does underscore the whole movie, like it does in the musical, but
Yeah.
yeah, I know a lot of people say that.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I kind of feel, not
And
even
when you see it
like,
on Broadway, you're like, ah,
yeah.
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 It's just,
I remember seeing the London production with Michael Ball and Imelda Staunton over the summer of 2012. And I remember that bit in the intro where he goes, "Swing your razor wide, Sweeney," and suddenly you've got a whole ensemble on the top there, you know, a
yeah,
whole on the bottom, and they
uh,
all go "Wah," all at the same time. I remember telling to my brother, going,
yeah,
"Wow!" Like
yeah,
the soundscape of the whole thing. Oh, and yeah, you see why this guy was a genius. You know,
mhm.
but yeah, is still a genius even from beyond the grave. You know, it's but yeah, but what was it like being part of that thing? Because I mentioned the people involved. You mentioned Alan, the late great Alan Rickman as well.
Yeah.
And what was it like working with all these titans of the business at that age as well?
Terrifying,
Yeah,
absolutely overwhelming. I spent the whole time thinking I was going to get found out and
found
sacked.
out.
Yeah, it's like she's actually rubbish, you know?
Oh,
And
don't be
it's
silly.
so strange. Like everything was really overwhelming. Just the scale of it all. And I was so scared. And in hindsight, I wish I could go back and just enjoy it and soak it all up a little bit more
Yeah,
because I would be less scared now. But I mean, that's just, I guess, experience and life experience too. But yeah, it was very overwhelming, daunting. But that's not because of the people. All the people were very nice and to a certain degree normal, as normal as you can be, like if you're Tim Burton. But everyone was really like down to earth, I suppose. I think that they're all these big stars, but they don't get on like they've swollen heads. They're just doing their job.
yeah,
They're there to work, and everyone was really, really lovely.
yeah. I
Every
bet. Yeah. Well, what was it like? Because I know you actually had a scene with Mr. Depp actually at the end as well. Yeah, and so I've already spoiled the musical.
No, you're okay. Uh, well, I hadn't actually met him up until that day, and it was so.
No,
'Cause every time I went home, everybody in my town was like, "Well, have you met Johnny Depp yet?" And I was like, "No, stop asking me." Um,
no, I haven't. I'll let you know.
yeah, and then and I was gutted because, like, I fancied Johnny Depp before everybody else did when Pirates of the Caribbean came out. I was like a fan of him when he was like Benny and June and like all the old
Yeah,
classics
Edward
and
Scissorhands and all that stuff. Yeah.
oh, I mean just beautiful. Um, and then uh, and then I was like, oh my goodness, he's actually there. He's a real person. And I was dressed like a boy and like in a wee hat and all. And he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
so nice. He was so nice because he looked at my face and was like, "Oh yeah, you could play my daughter." But I think that's because he was with Vanessa Paradis at the time, and we're not dissimilar in sort of face shapes. And instead of me thinking that's what he was talking about, I just went, "Ah, yeah, because you're old enough." I mean, sorry. I mean, you're the same age as my daddy. I mean, I just came out with verbal diarrhea. I was like, "Great, great, Jane. That's great." Yeah, and actually, he said, "Hi, I'm Johnny. Nice to meet you." And I went, and they're not. That's not English. So that's not any language. It was just, yeah, again, sheer nerves. But yeah,
Yeah.
He was like, and how old's your dad? And I said, and he went, oh yeah, I've seen your dad. And I was like, oh, how gracious of you to just roll with that and not go, you're weird.
Yeah, yeah. He seems like a cool guy. I know he's been through a lot these last few years, but I know he's yeah. I thought he was an excellent Sweeney. I thought he was very very good. You know, and singing
I
wise,
thought so too.
yeah, very very good. Yeah, I mean, Helena and him and Helena Bonham Carter. I thought they've not only that, but they've formed a great partnership together in like other films
Yeah.
directed by Burton and all that kind of thing. And you know, and yeah, because like that scene, I mean, yeah, like I say, I've spoiled it now. But there's a scene later in the film where you like he finds you in the in like the what's it called? What am I trying
In
to
the
say?
trunk, in the,
Trunk. Yes, thank
yeah.
you. In the trunk, and yeah, what was it like shooting that scene? Because that scene could have turned very very dark very quickly, but he spares Johanna without realizing it's Johanna, and yeah, what was that scene like to shoot?
I mean, I'm really having to find the fragments of my memories here and piece them together. It was such a long time ago.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I just was there doing the job on the day. I do remember at the time probably using my actual fear of just being surrounded by these people and that coming across in my eyes, like working so closely. Um, I do remember Tim Burton kind of going to him, right, okay, and then I want you to do this. He said to Johnny Depp, can you do this? And then I want you to leave, and then leave the room. But he did this kind of weird exit just because he's mental. He walked out the door and went, and it was funny, and everyone was laughing. And so we went to do the take, and then Johnny Depp did that, and then left the room, but actually did that. Obviously, it wasn't in shot, but it was just like, these guys are goofballs. They're kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do remember that briefly. I also remember prior to shooting that scene, it taking them like maybe a good hour to get a shot of blood running down the razor.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I like Tim Burton was very specific, and even like the splatter in the room, everything would had to be. He's very very clever man.
Yeah. That's cool. That's really really cool. And so, did you go to the premiere and stuff?
I did. I went to the New York premiere and the London one,
Oh,
which was really, really special. I went to the New York one with my mum,
nice.
and like we stayed at the Ritz Carlton in New York. It was like unbelievable, just so special. And then getting to just go about New York in December as well, you know, and it's like a movie in itself, like with the snow on the ground and the steam coming up from the sidewalks, and yeah, it was class.
Okay.
Really special getting to go to both premieres, and then the one in Leicester Square, which was in the January, it was mad because I stayed, I think it's the Savoy. I was wearing Normani outfit. And then literally the next day I had to pack it up and send it back to Armani, and I got on the tube. People were looking at me in the metro, like pictures, and then I was like, no one's never going to believe if I said that's actually me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, mate. Yeah.
Back to reality.
And back to reality. You give it back to Armani. It's like, oh wait, oh, I get the tube now.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and then you pass your big picture on the on the tube, and you say to people, and I think you tell them, "Excuse me, mate. What? Yeah, look, that's
Yeah.
that's
Or
me."
you're like, no, actually, I didn't. I would have been like, I hope nobody notices that's me.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to anybody, but nobody would have. Not a
Yeah,
chance. People are too busy thinking about themselves, which is
Oh,
good.
oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, I imagine some people already doing that. Say, "Oh, mate, you see that there? No, that's me." They'd be like, "Fuck off!"
Yeah.
Nah, that's not you. You get away from me, man. I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, very rarely you actually start a conversation on the tube as well, unless you're with people you know, obviously. But you know,
Well,
it's
that's true. That's very true.
yeah, it's like don't make eye contact me. Don't make conversation.
Steal my wallet.
Here's my wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you keep one hand on your phone, one hand on your wallet, because these guys they're very clever. They're sick, but they're very clever. Yeah, but yeah, I mean that whole experience. I mean, looking back on it now, I know you said you'd go back and enjoy it a bit more, but you know, as we look back on it now, do you think like that was just? I mean, that must have been a huge moment in your career to say like, oh wow, we're onto
It
something
was
here.
huge, and it opened so many doors for me, and still continues to. Hang on, let me see this. You see that
Oh wow, yeah, yeah,
poster up, my
brilliant.
office. Um, yeah, yeah, it still continues to like open up doors for me. It was just wonderful. I would not have, well, who knows, but I'm very, very grateful for it. I'm very, very grateful for the whole thing.
Nice one. Yeah, well, and if I haven't said it before, but congratulations, you did a really wonderful job. It's
And I mean, there's mixed reviews out there, but I'll not read them.
oh, who cares? Who cares? You did a really, really wonderful job, and I think a lot of people, would actually be, yeah, they'd be very like, I wish that was me. In this incredible opportunity that you had at such a young age. Tim Burton, Johnny Depp, doing a scene with the man himself, and
Yeah,
yeah, and him being so gracious with you and everything, but
yeah.
it was a
The whole thing was really wonderful.
yeah,
Very special, and I'm so grateful for it. Like I said.
yeah, brilliant. Well, congratulations. Honestly, I'm sure that will be a huge career highlight to anybody, and
Yeah,
and you got to do it. So
yeah.
yeah, and, yeah, amazing. And speaking of another career highlight, you were part of perhaps, I mean, I don't know if this is the biggest comedy, but one of the biggest shows in British television history, The Inbetweeners, and you got to be in it for one episode. You were
One episode, but it was a good episode.
oh, very good episode. I think a lot of people do remember that. You had some really memorable scenes. You had there was the scene where I think Simon and Will are fighting over you, but I think you actually wanted Simon or something like. Well, Lauren
Yeah, yeah.
wanted Simon. There's that scene where her and Simon are having a hug in the hostel, just like and
Yes.
and, and Will's like, "Come on, mate, time to go now. Go on."
Oh,
It's like,
that's so funny. That's really cringe to watch.
yeah. Oh, I mean, it's painful to watch.
And
You're
it's
just,
only a hug as well. It's so
yeah.
funny.
It's like, Will, just fuck off, leave
Yeah,
him
yeah.
alone. Yeah. I mean, how did you
And
film
then
that?
he smells her hair or something as well. Oh, it's so
Yeah.
funny.
Was that
Yeah.
planned, right? Or was that kind of improvised?
I think that was definitely the producers who said couldn't smell her hair. Yeah.
There's a pre-intimacy coordinator days as well, so that was very brave.
Yes, that's true. Goodness
Yeah.
me. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what was it like filming that scene? Were you just like, just trying not to laugh, or you're just like, please just go away, Simon, please. I mean, Simon Bird, that is, who plays Will. Uh,
No,
yeah.
I think you just film it and you are trying not to laugh the whole way, the whole time because it is funny. Also, I spent a lot of time weirdly being freezing cold,
Yeah.
doing
It's
that
in Norfolk, right? Or was it
like
Swanage?
in January and stuff. So it was just freezing.
Yeah. Sorry,
My whole face went blue.
I bet it was, yeah. Was that where did you film it? Was it in Swanage? Or was it in,
Remember?
yeah,
No,
is it,
not remember.
I
But
think
it
it's,
was down on the coast.
yeah, I think it was Swanage, I think, yeah. Because funny enough, I did a geography field trip to Swanage for my A levels one time. And
Okay.
yeah, we didn't see the stuff that you did. I'm not sure if it was that. Anyway, look, it was by a cold English coast in
Yes.
January, where if you walk outside without a coat, you're 10% likely to freeze to death and
Yeah.
90% likely to catch a cold. So always wrap up warm to anyone who's interested in coming to the UK during that time. But I think I have to say, you have another scene which was just brilliant, and like where you see the boys on the speedboat, and the speedboat's not working anymore, and for some reason or another they've caught a fish, and the fish is
Ah,
just
fish.
it's like, and you're like, are you okay, Will? It's like, yeah, you sent a flare up, and your character in that moment, she just states the bleeding obvious, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and you're like, you understand why Will reacts in that way,
Yeah.
but yeah, what was that scene like?
Lord,
Fucking fish, you
give
fish.
me a minute.
Oh, oh man, wait, what was it like filming that? Because you were outside for that as well. You must have been freezing.
I was freezing, but that whole thing was absolutely hilarious. And I remember them putting a sock on his member for modesty purposes.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But then it was so funny that they actually just kept it in as a. And then I think it must be ADR, so they must have recorded it this dialogue. Why did you put a sock on it? Or but yeah, that was literally for his modesty and not because they thought it would be funny at the time. But then they realised it was hilarious looking.
Yeah. Oh, so that wasn't planned, was it? They just thought we'll just use like another shot, and then they saw that and they thought, Actually, let's use that.
Yeah,
Use that.
yeah.
Oh wow, that was good. I mean, what, that whole experience, what was it like being like? Because you joined in series two, so
Well, I was a massive fan of the first season. I absolutely loved it. Like the Thorpe Park episode just really killed me. It was so
oh,
funny.
so
And
fun.
then we I want like I heard that they were doing auditions for the second season. I was like, oh my goodness, I have to do it. And I went in for an audition and I did an English accent as well. And then they were like, can you do your own too? And I was like, oh, okay, fine. I'm going to be the option, so I'm not going to get it. But then I got round to like the final three, and I was asked, can you go, like, because the read through that day, like the whole read through for the season was going to be that day, and they couldn't decide between three different people for the
Yeah.
part. Like I think each producer wanted somebody different, and so we all had to go in audition that day, and the person who got it was going to be handed the script and go straight in, which is mental. And it was like, I don't know, X Factor or something. But I didn't think that I was going to get it because I was asked to go in second and the first girl was sent home. And then I was asked to go in next and I was like, that's it, I didn't get it. But then they offered it to me in the room and I hugged one of the producers. I was like, what? Actually, what? And I hugged him and I was like, well, that was probably inappropriate, but let me take the script and head on. But then the other girl who was in, she ended up playing another part.
All
They
right.
said, we want you in the show, so can you play this part? Yeah, she was one of Carly's friends. So, it was mad. I was just so pleased to be part of it. And I knew as soon as I saw the screening, I was like, this is a massive cult comedy for
Yeah.
the UK. So I'm really, really pleased that I got to be a small part in it.
No, no, no. It was a memorable part, and I remember just like we just mentioned, like the whales breakdown. Yes, Lauren, it's a fucking fish. Get me out
Yeah,
in a minute. And
yeah.
and of course there's another moment which I know we were talking about before we came on. I know you've talked about this in other interviews as well. Is that sometimes people still come up to you in the street or leave you comments online and they go, "Feisty one, you are."
No, and I'm like, oh, good one. Not
Yeah,
heard before, thanks. Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
I do actually remember the very first time anybody did that to me, and it was such a shock.
yeah.
In Bluewater Shopping Centre in Kent, and just some two young boys ran up and did it, and I went, my word, I'm famous. It was
Yeah.
mad.
I mean, that must have been a moment, man, right?
Yeah, yeah. It was really the first time it ever happened. Was real shock, and
Yeah.
then it was like, all right, okay.
Yeah, now it's like all these years later, it's like, all right, cool, man. Yeah. It's like, I think Cuba Gooding Jr. talks about how he still gets target. He did Jerry Maguire, didn't he, back in the day? It's that famous line, "Show me the money" and stuff. Yeah,
Oh, people must say that. Oh, yeah.
all the time, all the time. Yeah, yeah. So you got off lightly. Yeah. Oh man, it's crazy. No, but I mean, the Inbetweeners, I remember, was just like I think, I don't want to speak for you or nothing, but I think on behalf of myself and a lot of people in our sort of demographic, that was what school was like. That was what it was like growing up in an English secondary school, doing your A levels at that time at a state comprehensive. It's not a
Right.
private school. It's what you go, yeah, state funded, comprehensive school. And that's what we used to talk about. And that's what Lance talked about anyway. Just
Right.
these
I
people
actually
who,
went to an all girls.
oh, did you? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I beg
My
you.
school experience was different. I mean, still interesting, but yeah,
Oh, yeah,
not
definitely.
like, yeah.
Yeah. But I remember just, yeah. So, yeah, I'm not speaking for girls' school. Obviously, I didn't go. But, I look back on those times. I think, yeah, I met a Jay, I met a Neil,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
met I met a Will, and I met a Simon, and I just thought, and I met a Donovan as well, and then we'd
yeah.
have the new girl like Lauren would come in and be like, "Who's the new girl?" And it was just, I thought, yeah, it gives me a lot of nostalgia.
People,
Yeah,
that's why it's probably so popular because people absolutely relate. They do look at it and they go, oh, that's me. Or like, I can
yeah,
see so and so, like, yeah, very much so.
yeah. It was brilliant. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a real big cult following, like you say, and I think there's even talk recently of it potentially coming back, and
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's a fantastic idea. Like because they did that reunion, didn't they? Back in at the beginning of 2019, was it? And I think it wasn't what people were expecting.
hmm
It was sort of like a chat show kind of thing, and with clips, and it was just a bit of a laugh. But I think people wanted a proper reunion, like
yeah,
with the guys. So I, I think people would love it.
yeah. Oh, it's
People
crazy.
of our generation.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think, I think a lot of people will resonate with that, and let's see what happens next. So, but speaking of which, obviously having done those two things in particular, well, now we mentioned the play earlier, so three things. So, so what's next for you, Jane? What do you want to do? What parts do you want to tackle?
I kind of wondered if you would say that to me, but I don't know. I
Okay.
like back in the day, I would have been like, I want to play Glinda. I want to do this. I want to like, and all these things. I just want to work. I
Yeah.
just want to continue to do things that stimulate me and help me grow as an actor. Like not necessarily in terms of profile, but just more for myself and my craft. The next thing I'm doing actually is another Mary Jones play. We're doing Christmas Carol at Back
Nice.
Lyric. Might
Nice.
as well move in. So we're doing that, and I start in a couple of weeks' time for rehearsals. So yeah, that'll be beautiful.
Nice. And you got a new TV, you got another series of your TV show out as well.
Faithless, yes, season two. It was released on Virgin Media Ireland there, but it'll be coming to the BBC soon as well.
Very nice. We'll keep a lookout for that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen it. It is brilliant. It's
Yeah.
really good. It's wonderful. Baz Ishmael, who wrote it and then stars in it, is just excellent. It's really beautiful. Like two different cultures in Ireland. Like well, mixed sort of cultures within a family.
Mm.
It is the new Ireland, really. So it's
Yeah.
nice to get that seen on TV.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah. We'll get you back on that premiere at the Savoy, and you won't have to hand your seat.
I don't care. I'll wear Primark. It doesn't matter.
Oh, Armani is king. Armani is king.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
no, that'd be amazing. We'll get you back on that one at some point. Jane, just got a couple more things left for you today before we finish up. So it's the last two questions for every guest. So first of all, what would you say was a bit of advice you wish you heard when you were starting out?
Well, something that I say to people now is like, do not do this unless you're doing it unless you know you cannot do anything else in your soul. Like, and you're doing it for the right reasons. You're
Hmm.
doing it because you love it and not because you want fame or money. Because you're not going to get either of those things. I mean, very seldom does that happen. But being in this industry is about passion and love.
Yeah.
And so, like, not that I ever wanted those things particularly, but I would say, expect to go into it and for it to be a heartbreaking career, but full of joy along the way. I guess I wish, I don't know. I really don't. Maybe what I would wish would be don't ever allow your sense of self-worth to be dictated by your CV or your bank balance, just because you are special as you are anyway, and
That's good.
you have to live with you even when you're not working. So yeah, I guess it'd be that.
Nice one. No, I love that. Yeah. Doesn't matter about your CV or your bank balance.
Yeah,
Yeah. Never heard
you're
that.
worth a lot more than those things.
Yeah. No, I love that. Never heard that before. Yeah. I'm gonna
Well, I
steal.
just made it up there now.
Yeah, yeah, no, no. I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna steal
Yeah.
that. But and finally today, what would you say has been an experience or experiences that you've had in your career up to now that you'll never ever forget?
I will never forget being on the red carpet in New York for the first time. And and people shouting my name. And I was like, it was really unexpected. I was like, what?
Wow.
How on earth did they know my name? Another experience in New York. I did a thing called Good Vibrations, which is a musical version of the movie. And we did that at the Irish Arts Centre a couple of years ago. And I remember going there and thinking, because it's set in Belfast, and I was like, these people, I don't know if they're going to get it. And just the audience reaction when we finished. And I was like, oh, wow, we did it. And it was just like every fibre in your being was just like full of joy and so much emotion. I was just like, I can't believe it, we did it. Like, you know, we're here in America, they got it. They love us, they love what we did, they love this story. That was a really special experience as well.
Wow. So here's to many more for you, Jayne. I'm sure you're going to have many more of them.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, of course you will. Of course you will. And I suppose, yeah, like I say, congratulations again on Sweeney Todd. And it shows. And also, one thing I love about that story is that, you know, you took a chance on yourself. You put yourself first, saying, I don't want to stick around at drama school anymore. Look, it's not for me. This isn't working anymore. But you followed your own passions, your own instincts, and your own desires, and you landed a brilliant part in a big film, and then you got yourself in a fantastic position. And of course, you know, that's not everything you can do, it's not everything you have done, but it's an experience that's going to take you so far. And you mentioned earlier, open up so many doors for you.
Yeah, it launched my career. So
yeah,
in a brilliant way.
Yeah, and of course the Inbetweeners on top of that as well. But I suppose what I'm trying to say really is, you know, I take my hat off to you for
Thank you
for putting yourself first and saying, look, this isn't working for me. Going against the grind of people going, yeah, but you got to stay at drama school. You got to stay here. It's the safe thing to do. But and you said, no, this isn't for me. Bye-bye. Off you go. And then you send them a picture of yourself on the red carpet in New York going, see?
Oh, well, I didn't do that.
Worth it.
But,
yeah. Oh, yeah, no. I'm not saying that. But there you are on the red carpet, probably. And then again, correct me if I'm wrong, but, you know, I think if I was in your position, I'd be thinking, was that worth it? Leaving drama school against everyone else's opinions? Absolutely.
Oh, it was, yeah. Even just for myself, even if nothing ever happened, you have to keep yourself happy.
Exactly. Yeah. No, like I say, I mean, I applaud you for doing that, for putting yourself first, and how important it is to do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, fantastic, Jayne. This has been so much fun. Thank you so much for your time today.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, and like I say, I know you just finished a play last week, so I imagine like the come down from the play is like slowly settling in and stuff. And,
yes, I'll be starting to grieve any day now.
Yeah, don't worry, you'll be back at the lyrics soon as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's an in-house actor or something. Who knows? A rep. One or two. Yeah, we should bring rep back. You know, it's died out completely over here, but yeah, that's a conversation for another day. Jayne, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. If you just hang on, I'll finish the recording and we'll have a tiny debrief and you can shoot back off. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you. This has been the Uncensored Critic podcast. I'll be back very, very soon. And Jayne, thank you.
Thanks.